residential spaces down for the people I'm just about to get rid of. So, the quickest move out in history this is. Hello DM family, and welcome back. I'm Mr. D.Namics and this is City Skylines. So, something happened where it didn't record my voice over the actual game, so things aren't really linking too well. But basically I'll just talk you through what I did. So we started the game, there was a massive electricity problem for some reason, and then I realised it's because we hasn't connected the two halves together. It took me a while to figure it out, as you can see. So I'm looking around trying to find out what it is exactly that's going on. I'm like, well, we're producing enough electricity. What we was. And then when I put it down, you see it doesn't really make much of a difference onto the other side. So I'm all excited, and then I'm trying to sell this to see whether or not, because I don't want to pay for that and the oil plant now, because it doesn't make sense to. So I got rid of that, and then these buttons down here I didn't know what they did, so I just clicked them off. Later on I'll realise that was a big mistake of mine, but I'm still having this electricity problem, and you'll see it now. I'm like, oh yeah, what's the point? Doesn't connect. I don't know how many times I've put something there though. So obviously every time that I've done the roundabout, which I must have done about 4 or 5 times now, and it's still not great, as you can see. But then I think at this point I've decided, well, there's even more problems. So I entered this game with more problems than what I left with somehow. So I've got a water problem, had an electricity problem, I've got a traffic problem that I haven't even noticed yet. So yeah, we didn't do too well last time. But no fear. This one, it took a while for it to connect. As soon as I went to put another one down, or connect it started working. You can see all the poo running down the stream. And this is now where I'm deciding where I'm building. So I figured out that there are different ores that I need to, well, different natural resources that I need to take advantage of. And I've placed my LTT just above them. Haven't really took any attention to that. So down here we've got the green, so like the forest area, which I'll utilise later. And then this is the farming area where it's really fertile land. Place a farming area there, and then I built this entire development on top of an ore area. So I've decided to completely level that off and restart that entire area and move all of that residential space downwards across that kind of pool lake area thing. In order to start this, I'm just going to build around the lake on a basic standpoint first. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do this, because I'm going to have an angle somewhere. I don't know where yet. So I'm trying to find out this perfect angle space, and then I end up just going straight across, which worked out pretty well. And then I quite like what I've done, what I'm about to do. But first it takes me a while to figure out exactly what I want to do. And then I'm doing this. I'm just checking the resources to make sure that I'm not covering any other resources. Decided I'm fine, I'm not really bothered. And then also I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to come into this area. Obviously you're going to use the roundabout that I've done earlier, which between us is a big mistake. Now this is where it's kind of threw me off, because it doesn't quite line up the way it should. And then this is the part that had like a eureka moment. and I'm thinking, oh yeah, straight across, and I quite like that. So I find myself that, because there's a snapping point which I didn't realise, as you can see, just going to use that. So yeah, I quite like this. So I put my utilities down so that they can get their wee and poo. And also get their fresh, clean water. I don't know if it's fresh, but all clean. Made sure I didn't do that mistake of putting the outlet above the inlet. So yeah, I'm absolutely gutted that the recording, it just stopped. For some reason I recorded about 4 minutes of it and then it just stopped. It just didn't record any more sound. So that's why I had to do this. But if you are new here, make sure you slap that subscribe button. Drop some comments down below for me, because I like to engage. I like to see what you think and what your suggestions are. And ring the notification bell. That's always good. You can always be right there when the action happens. And slap that like button too. Those are pretty important. Lets me know what you like and what you don't like. So here I've kind of put shops at the end of each of the main streets, and then I'm just putting schools, hospitals, you know, all that essential services. And here I put a public library down for some reason because I thought it was a school. So I click on this, I'm like, yeah, this is a secondary school. This is not even took notice of the round circle. Schools don't have that. And I'm like, wait, hold on, that's a library. And so I put some secondary schools down. I don't have the university unlocked yet, so I don't need to worry about that. Last one was the hospital. And you know what? I can't remember, but I don't think I actually put one down at all. The small clinic's a bit too small. I put the cemetery down. It's always good. How much is the hospital? Where did I get all this money from? You'll see in a minute what I mean. At one point, I was just chucking hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of stuff down. Anyway, yeah. And then, obviously we've got this electricity problem. So that turbine thing covered it for a bit, but not very long. Now this is where I'm paying more attention of what's really going on in this city. I'm trying to decide whether or not to delete it now or a bit later. I decided to do it a bit later because I'm not this area down here isn't completely ready yet. I'm gonna make it into a zone so that I can put like policies and stuff on it later on and stuff. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, I'm about to put the industrial zone in, and this is how big I plan it on being. And that area is now up and running officially, apart from with the healthcare. And I still haven't done it. But then this is where I realised the traffic situation. It's like pretty bad. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out what the problem was. And then I realised these two streets on here, they're far too small. So I'm trying to assess options and whatnot. I go through a couple in my head. But I end up just putting larger roads on one side, and then eventually just putting a one-way system in for the two roundabouts on the industrial side. But it takes me a while to figure that bit out. Yeah. So yeah, delete that. It makes a small improvement at the start, but then it just backs up again because they just go a completely different way. I think on this side it made a difference, if I remember correctly. But I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing. Like an idiot, I put two out streets and that one in street. And they're like, oh yeah, you idiot. Not that. Put that up. Dosh. And that makes a slight improvement as well for that. But looking at it now, I might change that to a one-way road on that edge there. That might be a good call. And then here I'm thinking, well, how many of these cars are just trying to go straight on? I could solve this. And then I'm trying to think of the best way to do an underground pass. And then I'll just use the slip ramp and then straight on a normal road. Oh no, not a normal road. A two-lane highway. But this takes a while to sort out. So as you can see, like I've just put this road in. Now I've got to sort out like the lane mapping and whatnot to get it right, because I don't want the other side of the road turning into this. It's just literally just a one-way, straight out. One way in, one way out. And it's just dawned on me now, I put a two-way road underneath. It's pointless, it was a waste of money because they're only using one lane. I'm trying to figure out the lanes situation here as well. There's no point turning here because you're on the way out. That was your original intention, so get out. But I'm quite happy with how this is at the minute. It's not too bad. It's not like the most aesthetically pleasing in the world, but it does the job. And now, see, it's sped up quite a lot, but I'm still seeing that there's a problem on the industrial side. So this is where now I've got to try and think of another way around the problem. And what I do is I'm like, oh, I know, I'll make this into a one-way system. Off. And then, yeah, and then I'll just delete that one road. Don't need it anymore. Wait. Okay. And then that should work as just a one-way round system. And for the most part, it works alright. I mean, there's no traffic on that main road now, that main roundabout. So there is that. What am I doing here? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm still trying to figure out why some roads are still backing up. It takes me a while to figure this one out. But you can see the problem already, and I just completely missed it. I don't know why this starts. I upgraded the road thinking, oh, that's going to help, that's going to help. Which it does for the most part, but I haven't done the lane maths properly. Definitely go watch this bloke. It's Biffas plays in D.Games. He sorts out all of these cities and stuff on City Skylines, and he teaches you about like traffic management and your lane maths and all of this funny business. And this is what this mod's for. This traffic manager PE.111.5 blah blah blah. Yeah, he's really good to watch. He's really good to learn from, and it's amazing how important some of this stuff is. So making all of these just the same speed. I know 70 is probably a bit fast for a roundabout, but it's a game. I'm allowed. I think this is where I figured out the lane problem. I'm like, oh, this ain't right, because they're all crossing paths. So I'm thinking, well, hold on, you ding dong. I upgrade it to 4 for no reason at all, because you'll see that I'll change it again in a minute. But yeah, pop the lane markers on. And these are great. They just literally dictate to what lane goes to what lane, which is great. And I think this is where I actually realised what the actual problem was during all of this madness. So you see now there's nothing crossing paths. You can physically see that. It works out pretty well. I'm like, oh. So yeah, so 4, take 2 off equals 2. 2 on, 2 on equals 4. But this is where that should have been a 3, because it should be 1 goes straight on and then 1 comes off at the next one. And I think I do figure this part out. Yeah, swap it around. So 1 lane straight off, 2 lanes straight on. That should add up to 3 lanes. I can't remember if I change it. This is where I get my money from. Yeah, I got 205,000. Again, lane maths, 2 plus 2 equals 4. And yeah, it does make a massive difference. It helps with the AI, I've noticed. But then I'm like, oh, maybe I should do it for this roundabout too. So 2 on. I'm like, oh, can I change this? Change that to a 2. 2 and 2 is 4. Find the 4. Pop that on. Am I cool? Can I put that back into a 3? Yeah, that should do. And this is where I want 2 off and 1 straight on, which will then go to a 3, which it works out perfectly. And again, no crossing, no line crosses. They can figure that stuff out as they go. This is where I realised the actual problem. I'm thinking, why are they doing that? It takes me forever to find this bit, so cut that bit out. I honestly spent 10 minutes trying to find this menu, but yeah, you can stop them from crossing, but I've noticed it doesn't actually work if there isn't another option as such. So like some of the AI will just carry on crossing anyway. Then I forgot to put the go through signs to stop the cars from stopping before the cross point. I'm probably going to upgrade that to a highway roundabout at some point for it to work better with the AI. So yeah, I'm pretty happy there. I just put on the giveaway signs and the priority roads. I think this is where I decided what the main streets were and put the actual proper signage on. See how you see like that becomes the main street and everyone on that street has the right of way. I do that for the centre road here as well, just so that it just helps with traffic flow really. It's not such a problem then. Well, you can see the traffic still backing up on that roundabout a little bit, but I don't think that's help. There's nothing I can really do at this point. And then I've just noticed here that they're all stopping for some reason. It's because the pedestrian's crossing again. So then I go for another 10-minute tutorial of trying to find out how I did it. Oh yeah. Idiot. Turn off all the crossing roads. Points there. But yeah, in a minute you'll see what I mean. It just stops. Then from what do you call it? The AI just takes over. It won't stop it to a point. I think this is where yeah. I tried to find the paths. So I'll skip to the point after I've done it. So as you can see here, I'm just building this little overpass just to get to the other side of the road. And I connect it to the main walkway that's over the roundabout. As you can see, it's kind of like symmetrical. I just did it on both sides. And it worked for the most part. Stopped them from crossing the street. Which is what I wanted. Then thought about doing here, but there wasn't much of a problem. So I just left that bit. Because I realised that they're walking all the way from this one half of this city to the other half. So I'm like, oh, put some transport links in. And this is what I do. It's at this point as well, I realised that I have a garbage problem. And then I forgot about it and didn't do anything about it. So I'll skip to the part after I've done all of this. I'm just putting transport links down. It's not really interesting, to be fair. This is where I realised that I have no more room in my garbage facility, and also I have £400,000, so I can sort something out. And I just put loads of recycling centres down. So I've already put one down the bottom. I think I put 2 more down up here as well. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best option. And a large recycling centre can do 72,000 per week, whereas the incinerator can only do 42 or 40. So I'll put 2 of these in. Which basically deals with all the garbage around the city. well, I wouldn't call it a city, the town. And then I just want to put this little slip road in. And because I've got the traffic manager mod, you can put restrictions on the streets. So I put this on, put that on, and I just allow the emergency services, recycling, and also buses. I let buses go through there, but cars, taxis, trucks, all of that can't go through there, just so that it can get through. Decided to put the metro stations in, just to go across to the other, zones, the areas. So one straight over here, but for some reason it said slope to sleep on all of them. So a bit of a mission trying to find somewhere where I can put it. But I found somewhere. It does it quite a lot for some reason. Connect that up, which means those two places are now connected officially. I've done it with a bus on a slight scale, but yeah. So just putting this metro station in as well. I didn't know if it would work like that, but it does, so that's great. And this is where I'm like, oh, what else can I do? So again, try to find another metro station, but that angle doesn't work, so I change it so that it does work, because for some reason it just won't let me put it down. It's obviously too much of a steep angle for it. Once you swap it around a bit, I couldn't fit, for the life of me, I couldn't figure it out at the start. So now I've added the track, and I've got it so that the angle works. And now I can add this line in, add that stop, complete the line, then I go get rid of that one that I tried to put down earlier, and boff. All done. The areas connect up pretty well. I thought that, oh, I can connect both sides up, which I do. That angle obviously won't work, so try to do it in stages as much as I can. And that angle works as well, so that's alright. And so you can actually go on a big loop around the city now, in these different areas. Alright, so I've noticed I got a high demand for residential areas. I'm going to put a bit of high density now, just to break in the area a little bit better, and not create too much demand on, like, the roads. So I'll put these little areas of like high demand shopping, high residential areas, and extend. I didn't want to build too close to that junction for that roundabout, so I'm realising here that I haven't got snapping on. I'm like, oh, well, it's not working. Why is it not working? It's because I haven't got snapping on. So put that back on, connect that all up, straight to the line, and we do it again. And I come down here and I try to figure out what the best place to stop is. Turns out to be there. And yeah, that adds a nice amount of residential area extra for me. And this is where I start building the farming area. I didn't want to do something too fancy or something too luxurious, but I want it to be small but functional and look alright. So I did these kind of like inner areas, so like, there isn't much of a junction. You got one junction, that is it. It should help with the traffic to be localised in that one area. And then yeah, actually click that, fill in the area. Well, I'll put that as that. I change that to the ore, which obviously gets rid of all the old industrial area. Start selling now. Click that in the forest. And I think this is where I decide, like, I need some sort of just regular industrial. But I don't know what to do quite yet. I'm trying to find a way to add this area into the road network without compromising all that work that we've just done on those roundabouts. I think eventually what I'll have to do is upgrade it just to a highway. Once I can get, like, expand to get access to the highway, I'll improve it to a highway situation. But for now, this is the best I can possibly do. I do a bit of the lane management to make sure it all works fine. Change some of the roads just to make the maths work a little bit better. I'm thinking here, oh yeah, I could do with like 3 lanes really. I decided to not let them cross the path. They can just go to the roundabout and go around it and come back down if that's what they need to do. I haven't done any sort of upgrading the area yet, so like putting the parks in and stuff. I'll do that at a later date once I know that all like the traffic and all that works pretty well. So I don't want to keep having to delete and re-put. Sort the road out so that it's got the giveaway sign done. I'll do that there as well just to help with that. Something building there. It's a bit of a odd build, so I just left it. So I have no idea. This is where I make a plan of what I'm doing. So like this is that main road there, goes all the way through. So that's going to be the main road. And I'm going to change that whole area just into an industrial area. But I need to accommodate for that by putting some residential spaces down for the people I'm just about to get rid of. So the quickest move out in history this is. Just being careful not to get rid of previously wanted items. So get rid of literally everything on that area because that's going to all change. And if you just had a little peek down there, you can see we have a traffic problem at that new junction. Start deleting all the the buildings and stuff that were there. Don't need them anymore. They're all parks and whatnot. I didn't want to delete the metro station. I couldn't delete the cemetery because it's all buried and you can't get rid of them. Like you have to get rid of, like you have to relocate them first. Now, of course, a massive electricity problem on the other side. I delete all the suburb area. Quite like that area, to be fair, though. That makes it into a nice, clean area for building. Try to get rid of all these, but it just doesn't work for a while. Because I'm currently on the metro line thing, which I needed the other one. Some of it's a bit dodgy, like. So if I delete the main stuff first, then it allows me to delete the rest. I leave the purple line in, so that will still serve a purpose. And I can utilise that later. But yeah, then I can get rid of all of this. No. Nice clean space for building. We use the regular areas that we had before. I decide that that can be like commercial area connected to the industrial area because you're allowed those two together. But the problem is, we've got so many one-way roads. I'm not really sure what I should do here. So I just I build the extensions first. That was wrong. Try again. Sometimes it's very hard to get that placement. So yeah, so that fills up the area quite nicely. And then I've just got to redo the main road so that it all works. A big traffic problem here. Then I realised because there's traffic lights there. And then I completely forgot how you turn off traffic lights. Turn them off. Makes a big improvement. I need to do the speed limits again. To make them all the same. But they're all crossing the street again, which is highly annoying. So I have to turn that off. And I forget again. And this is where I noticed we're not making as much money as we was before. That's because I deleted all this area. And that was like quite a lot of the industry was there. So that's why it won't work. Start filling in all the area. You don't need to see that, that's boring. I've made the ore area a bit too big. And I still need some like general industrial area. So I'm just trying to carve out this little piece just so that they can have a general industrial space. Realise I haven't gave them any water. They want a bit more commercial, so I plopped down quite a lot of commercial, to be fair. That sorts that out, and then I realised that that's what these little buttons are for. So if you click on the demolish button, it'll come up with the two little pop-ups. That's how they get rid. So start emptying that, multiple problems, and then it goes away again. Then I start emptying that, but that needs power in order to do so. And that's about where we finish up. So, again, make sure you like it. Make sure you drop some comments down below. Slap that subscribe button. Ring the notification bell. And we'll see you next time. D.Namics.